27th of May 2009, the EPP held the last in its series of policy debates before the European Parliament elections. Entitled Uniting Europe on the World Stage, it saw panellists emphasising the need to speak with one voice to make Europe stronger and able to answer the challenges of the 21st century.
No country can join the European Union unless every one of the existing members agrees. That's the rule.
I'm convinced that the only perspective for the whole Balkan region is Europe.
And we in Western Europe, and Central Europe, our old members of the European Union, have to understand that. Not by changing our policy towards Russia, but to give these new countries more the feeling that they are equal partners of the European Union, equal partners of NATO, and that we have the same interest in their security as we have in our security.
But we have to be very honest in it and to try to convince the government in Ankara that this is the only way. And we are in favor as EPP of a period, long period, important period, let's say, of privileged partnership.
And I believe in the new European Parliament, and particularly for the EPP, there is a major programme here of seeing that capabilities catch up with ambitions. Now, the defence budgets are not going to go up, let's be clear about that, but I still believe if one looks at what Europeans are spending their money on these days, supersonic aircraft, tanks, large ships, Cold War legacy systems, I think that there is still a great deal that can be done.
That only Europe together, within NATO, can become an equal partner. Outside NATO can become an equal partner of the United States.
But a foreign policy which relies simply on being who you are and not having any power instruments to defend those values and interests is not going to be sufficient.
My task is to explain the European Union to Americans, but when you explain it to Americans, you have to realise certain things that we frequently forget about ourselves, namely that the European Union is the only multinational democracy in the entire world, that it's the only voluntary sharing of sovereignty between states that exists in human history, and it is the most successful peace process in world history.
For example, transatlantic relations is really a cornerstone of, let's say, the way the EPP at least perceives our foreign policy approach. We think that it's important that we have that we work side by side with the U.S., with Canada, also dealing with organizations like NATO in order to deal with today's global challenges.
There's got to be a bigger effort by the European countries to restructure their defence spending away from these old legacy systems towards special forces, intelligence, satellite reconnaissance, helicopters, the things that we actually need. The second thing is that the European defence market is still too fragmented. Too many companies chasing too few orders, and there's got to be a lot more consolidation of the industrial sector at European level, and this is exactly the kind of thing where the EPP can take a lead and which the European institutions above all have to sort out.